Hi, everybody. I had been studying a book called The Threshold Covenant for a few months now. It's an old book by a man named Clay Trumbull. I heard about it through John Hamill, who has Lamplighter Ministries, which is an intercessory prayer ministry out of D.C. And he was talking about what light it shed on him for the Passover, for the blood on the doorposts, and etc. So I bought that. Well, a friend of mine actually gave it to me, and I have been reading it. And I want to share just a few things with you, make these short videos. Mainly, there were ancient customs. There was an ancient rite of sacrifice among all these cultures, that surrounded Israel and before, and cultures in South America. And even some similar things further east. So that tie into the threshold sacrifice, or the blood on the doorpost. Okay, so just to begin with, I'm going to give you a little foundation here. Blood was sacred to the ancients. They believed that blood was life. Great assumption, because we know from Leviticus 17:11, God said the life is in the blood. But they knew that blood was life, and so they felt that the deity, whoever he was, or he, she, whatever it was the author of life. And so sacrifice, the shedding of blood, brought you close to this author of life. So just as a basic covenant that they engaged in across all these cultures, it's very interesting, was the covenant of crossing the threshold of a person's home. And I suppose it was because if you invited someone in, you wanted to be able to trust them. They were going to see what you had, who you were, all that sort of thing in that world that was dangerous, right? So before a guest entered the home, there was a sacrifice that was made at the doorpost, at the threshold of the home. That was the family altar. So the animal was slain there at the threshold, and the blood ran over the threshold, and then the guest was invited to walk over the blood, sometimes through the blood, into the home, and then you had a covenant. You had made a covenant with that person as your guest, and that person was in covenant with the owner of the home, because they'd done it before God, because they did it with blood, right? So this is the reason for Jesus' words, or one of the reasons at least, in John 10, when he said, "He who does not enter by the door is a thief and a robber." In those cultures, a thief or a robber would never enter over the threshold, because that was a sacred altar. They cut a door through the roof or through another wall if they wanted to steal. And actually, they had a right to do that because they had no covenant with the owner of the home. See what I mean? So, in a nutshell, and I'm going to give you some more of this background, but in a nutshell, when the Israelites put blood on the threshold of their homes that night on the first Passover, in fact, they were saying, "We've made the sacrifice. You're welcome to Yahweh. You're welcome to come and dine, because here's the blood of the sacrifice. Come over the threshold." It was an invitation for Yahweh himself to come in and dine with each Israelite family that had sacrificed. Now, I'm going to tell you some more about why this is so. Next video.